Vaishak Bagi.
Yes.
Sit down.
Thank you.
You were born in Mandya.
Yes, sir.
Why your father was serving there?
So no, my father's native is Mandya, sir.
Mandya.
So delivery was in Mandya, sir.
Acha. Mother is from Udupi.
Udupi, sir.
Or you find it convenient to remove that.
So
Yes.
if you want, I can remove, sir.
Yeah, remove.
Because then you get clear.
You have completed your BE in 2015.
Yes.
What were you doing for the last 5 years?
So I was concentrating on the civil services exams. Along with that, I was taking other competitive exams
Okay.
like AFCAT, Air Force Defense Services.
Are you not working for the last 5 years?
Those.
So 5 years only preparation.
Yes.
Very good. See that, sir?
Yeah, you taken this exam earlier?
Sir, no, sir. This is my second mains.
Second main.
Yes. This is the first interview.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your understanding of forest conservation?
Pardon, sir.
Forest conservation.
So in India, we have somewhere around 23% of forest coverage, and forest for us is something of an interaction between human and the nature. So conservation is nothing but existence and survival of human existence. Therefore, anything with respect to forest conservation is nothing but survival of human survival itself. So it has cultural repercussions. It has service-oriented validity. So I believe forest conservation is nothing but an interaction, an improvement of interaction with the human beings.
Yeah. Do we really need to save our forests?
So in my opinion, yes, and I believe in most of the cases, forest conservation is something which we need to focus on. Considering the global warming, climate changes, and all these effects, the negative effects which we are witnessing right now is basically because of the negative impacts which are happening with the interaction between human and forest. So I believe the central role of human should be now is about forest conservation itself.
Today, with the population explosion, everybody wants land, and the pressure is on forests. People think that, including their political bosses, even sometimes in administration, they think that they can still do away without forests. We have made so many scientific advancements, we can counter all those negative effects of forest not being there. What do you think? You understood what I just said?
So there is a thin line between having a development versus destruction. In fact, what we are currently witnessing is greed more than need or want. So forest conservation currently should focus on limiting that particular want or limit of greed. And it is believed that yes, development needs some sort of destruction also. It's a give and take mechanism while understanding the population explosion and other such things. But there should be a limit, and we are targeting at that limit so that we are not exceeding this particular limit, what we are doing at the current times.
What is the future of renewable energy in India and globally?
So since thermal energy, especially coal, is something which we are focusing is receding day by day. The resource itself is receding. While India is also focusing on renewable energy, we have set a target around 450 gigawatts for the next 3-4 years. And renewable energy is something which we need to focus upon because just like we discussed, it has its implication on the forest conservation also. So the next or the future of energy requirements or the needs of energy is from the renewable energy itself is what I believe. So.
Solar energy now has it's become highly competitive, and then the margins you get economically is very less. So do you think there is still scope for improvement of spread of solar energy exploitation?
Sir, in the tropical belt, I believe there is still things which we need to explore. It's something which we are still witnessing. Currently, there is still a growth of solar energy. I mean, we have not yet utilized its full value. Therefore, realizing the full value may happen in the next decade or so. We are not technically sound also. Most tropical countries are basically developing countries, African nations, Latin Americans and India. Therefore, there is a need to develop in the aspect of development. Therefore, yes, solar has its benefits and we need to target in the next 10 years or 15 years.
Labor laws, do you think what we have are adequate or we need to make any amendments?
So currently what we are following is mostly designed in the colonial era, 18th or the 19th century, which was designed by the British laws. And we have some way altered it, and we need to balance it with the capitalist and the socialist aspects. What we see in the current scenario is there is a number of strikes and protests from the social aspect of the labor side. But on the other side, we are targeting opportunities by giving more value for the capitalists also. So there needs to be a balance, and therefore, yes, there is a need of bringing those laws to the current times, and certain tweaks balancing both capital as well as social views is a need of the past.
Okay.
Your optional subject is Kannada.
Yes, sir.
What is the root of this Kannada language?
So can you please elaborate?
In the sense, this Kannada
Yes, sir.
has come from by its alone, or it has come through some other some other way, or only as an independent language?
So, based on the linguists and the researchers, there are 12 prominent languages, racial languages, what we call as genealogical language list, of which Dravidian language is a prominent language. Just like we have Indo-Aryan languages where Sanskrit, English and other languages are there. We belong to a Dravidian language family. It is said that Tamil is one of the oldest languages, and it is a branch of Dravidian.
Which is very near to the Kannada.
So in
Which language, which is what you said,
Yes.
which is very near to Kannada?
So origin-wise, it is close to Tamil. Lipi-wise, it's close to Telugu. And most of the things in grammar format we have received from Sanskrit also. So we can say Kannada has many mothers, but it goes to Dravidian is the main root of Kannada. So
Yeah, that's mostly from historically it is only the Sanskrit.
so yes, sir.
Historically it is all Sanskrit.
So yes.
Whatever may be the roots for others, the origin is only from.
So there are basic differences when we see in grammars or how certain words are used. There are certain examples which.
You know old Kannada, what they say?
Sir, I have
Old
certain
Kannada.
familiarities.
Old Kannada.
It's a certain.
Hale Kannada, what they used to say.
Yes.
Hale Kannada is very near to the Sanskrit. And then Kannada came. What is your.
Sir, in my opinion, those days we had a lot of influence from the Sanskrit literature itself. Because we talk about Kalidasa, we talk about Bhasa. So most influence.
All literatures are Sanskrit.
Yes.
Veda, Upanishad, whatever the literatures are there in our history, they are all in Sanskrit. Whatever it may be.
Yes.
It's not like that. Tamil is considered the oldest language. They have got their own scriptures.
Allah, maybe.
Kannada compared to Kannada is also a very old language.
Yeah.
Tamil is considered older. And Malayalam is a dialect of Tamil. They consider Kannada also as a dialect of Tamil. But the question is Kannada has got an independent existence. But in Tamil also, in Malayalam also, in Kannada also, in later years, they have imported a lot of words from Sanskrit.
Many, majority, what I can say, even developed nations and others, those who are interested, they also infer that it is the mother especially Sanskrit. Okay, it's fine.
We told
Then I have something in mind. Why India has not become a developed nation, even after 5,000 years of history? We are oldest country. India is the oldest country and has a history of more than 5,000 years. But America, hardly 500 years old, and go to Japan in the Second World War, it was smashed completely and it is a developed nation. Australia, which was the land of living the convicts from the Britishers, land of convict. Australia was a land of convict. In 250 years, they are developed country. Although we have passed 5,000 years, we are not becoming a developed country. Can you tell me why?
Sir, in my opinion, the statement or the definition of development or what is development?
Developed country, developing country, underdeveloped.
Yes, sir.
These are the three things we have.
So, in my opinion,
We are developing,
Yes, sir.
not developed. Okay. Why we are not become developed?
Sir, we are of a very diverse country. We have many cultural differences, we have language differences, we have cuisine differences, and most of all, what we are focusing is we have a very strong cultural bondage. And when we define what development is, we usually neglect that cultural value, that is family bondage or having a very closeness to the nature. So when we look into the global scenario, everything what we call as development is in terms of industrial validity. So when we talk about Japan, when we talk about China, or when we talk about USA for that matter, it's all about how industrially or infrastructural well built the countries are. So I believe the outview or the purview of looking into development itself should include the quality of cultural values also. So I am of an opinion that we should not focus on what actual developed or underdeveloped nation is. India for now is actually going in a progressive path. Therefore, in fact, US, Japan, whatever developed nations which we have listed as developed nations is focusing on India both geopolitically as well as cultural values. So, in my opinion, that acts as a very important factor. And very specifically talking about only infrastructure as a developmental feature, we lack what we call as a skill set of education system from where we always try to imitate the Western features. So instead of imitating what is called as developed features, we have our own set of values. We had Harappan civilizations, we had Vedic and post-Vedic improvisations as postmodern era itself. So I believe we need to look into that aspect and call ourselves, of course, a developed nation as well.
Good afternoon, Vaishak. One thing, you have heard the recent night curfew in Bangalore. So how is it going to work out? Will it going to reduce the COVID-19 cases? So what is the impact of this night curfew? What do you feel?
Sir, I believe it is more of an administrative decision, wherein most of the staff, especially the police force, who are working throughout the day, they do need some sort of break. And though scientifically, many of the scientific community says it's not going to help actual stop or reduction of the COVID spread, people tend to get a vibe of something productive is going to happen. That means to say, if I am trying to do something in the night, restricting myself traveling from going out or things like that, they usually tend to do the same thing in the daytime also. So traveling across the border usually happens in the night time.
Will it crowd? There will be a crowding effect in the morning because people will be waiting for the morning. We've seen
So yes, the actual timing is under question. That is from 10 to 5, where scientific community itself is saying that usually there is a less population at that particular time. They should have focused at the daytime also. So the government probably will consider this particular aspect also. But there is these decisions are taken at the administrative level for certain purpose. Especially, like I mentioned, that it's more of a psychological aspect where they tend to avoid things and slow down the next day's decision based on the timings they have taken. So the decisions, whatever happened the next day, probably will take place on the previous day, and therefore that will reduce the spread. Is what I believe.
See, Vaishak, this is which catches my eyes. You know, you attended theatre workshops.
Yes.
So how is this theatre different from the present day movies, which we see on screen movies or the serials which are happening? How is this theatre different, or they same or anything? There is a contradictory things or any difference between them?
So the process involves almost all the similar divisions like direction, acting, music, drama. But there is one important thing is audience. So in the theatre, audience are present. There is a live performance. Therefore, I will get to know as an actor or I will get to know as a director what is happening and what is going to happen. I can think about
Immediate feedback.
yes, immediate feedback, and I can use that. But whereas in cinemas or whereas in serials, it's a recorded event, probably edited multiple times. It's according to, they're anticipating, the product is ready, but they're anticipating for the feedback later on sometimes. So that I believe is the major difference.
So you're from Mandya.
Yes.
Like a major, it's a dog region or it's a highly irrigated place of Karnataka. What do you What do you feel the Kaveri issue between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu? Is it political or do we really have any issue?
So if we look into the particular aspect, the issue came about because of, yes, the agriculture issue, because both the whole Kaveri belt is water intensive. That is, the crops grown there is sugarcane, which is water intensive, also paddy, which is water intensive. Therefore, Kaveri is the sole source which actually lends both for Karnataka as well as Tamil Nadu, which includes Kerala also to a certain extent. And this water as a natural resources is something which is under question from the past 50 or 60 years, because it's because of the border issues also. So we tend to take water as a natural resource, while there is border issue which is a geographical issue. In my opinion, the current tribunal, whatever decisions have been given, that it should take into consideration the actual situation, including drought, including flood, also the quality of the soil. So I believe the tribunal's view is somewhat friendly with the farmers itself.
It's farmer friendly. Not, I mean, I'm asking, is it biased towards Tamil Nadu?
Sorry, I don't have a particular number as such. I don't remember. I don't recall that. But to a certain extent, we are respecting the tribunal's decision, and I believe that both the states have come to a proper conclusion. Though there is certain issues there, but to a larger extent, the solution is heading towards the closures.
Well, be confident, brush up your knowledge of Kannada literature, particularly Prachina, Nadugannada and Arvachina, that is modern. Okay, and you should have a comprehensive view of the entire Karnataka Kannada literature. Okay, so thank you. All the best.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.